What's up, fight fans? Mikey2Gunzz, Our Bleepin City. Like the rest of you, we just got done watching UFC 329. Nothing more to say than just massive buzzkill, massive disappointment. There was huge build-up on this fight. Conor McGregor's first fight in 5 years. And I don't think anyone saw it. There was a million different predictions that were put out. And I don't think anyone had this on their bingo card. As, you know, no one should. No one really ever wants to forecast an injury in the first minute of the fight that just completely kills all of the great vibes and moods that had been of what had been such a great card up until that point. A couple things about the fight I want to get into, and a couple things that I noticed right away that had me concerned before the fight even started, and that was Conor's walkout. There was something about him, and I said to my friend, I said, he looks kind of nervous. His demeanor looked different than it had from the whole week of fight camp, of hype, all the press conferences. There's something that just looked a little off when he walked out. Now, they did even, the replays showed right after the fight, even before he stepped in the ring, there was something going on with his knee. So Conor came in compromised. To what degree? I don't know. I don't think it was to the degree of what actually happened inside the ring, but something was up, because I saw there was something right away. I texted my friend, and I was like, Conor, is it me, or is Conor? He just looks a little nervous. There was something about him that just looked nervous, and could it have been the fact that it was his first fight in 5 years, coming off a broken leg? Sure, I'm sure there were some butterflies. However, Conor, if there's ever anyone on the planet that does not really have a dip in confidence, in their self-confidence, no matter what the situation is, it's Conor. But for some reason, I don't know if it was just things got too real during the walkout. You could see something in his eyes that just looked, something looked scared. And he tried to put on the front with his ring walk and a little bit when he was in the ring, but you could just see there was something off. And I feel bad. I feel kind of sad. I've gotten to know him a little bit from afar, covering the BKFC and being around him during press conferences and just seeing his interactions with other members in the organization, and just talking to some of the other fighters that have dealt with him. I feel bad because he brings so much life to whatever, love him or hate him, he brings so much life and attention to whatever he gets involved in, and he knows how to put asses in the seats and put clicks on the computer and eyes on the screen. Like the guy is a genius when it comes to promotion. So I feel bad. And the big question right now, there's $2 million questions. Number one, how serious is this injury? From all the medical experts, and from the medical experts that have looked at it, it doesn't take a genius to think that is a torn ACL. Torn ACL, maybe MCL, PCL, something snapped in there, because the legs are not supposed to bend like that. So, barring a miracle, how serious is this injury? What's the timetable for recovery going to be like? Does Conor want to make that kind of commitment again? Because this is going to be a major rehab, and at his age, he's getting up there now. As you get closer to 40, you get more injuries. The injuries become harder to rehab. The recovery is longer. Does he want to still do this? Now, in the slight possibility that this is not as serious as we think, the second question is, how quickly can he come back? Does he want to come back? Will that fire and confidence still be unwavering? Do people still? I'm sure people still want to see him fight, but there's so many questions now that are just going to be there. Uh, and that's best case scenario if he's not that injured, if it's not the ACL, if it's the PCL or one of the other CLs that's not as crucial as the ACL. That's like that's like the big one. So that's a huge question. And the other huge question is too, a guy like Conor, who is his whole aura is on his. He's always had this kind of sense of unwavering confidence, invincibility. You can't break his will. What does this do to this type of fighter that relies so much on that just cloak of invincibility, that aura? He can probably put on the same type of front, but will it have the same effect in the future? After now, this is second fight in a row where he's really not been in the fight and been hurt early on in the fight and lost the fight because of it. So what is this going to do? I'm sure if he wants to fight, Dana will be at his doorstep in a heartbeat, ready for him to sign the contract. But it don't look good. I really hope it's not serious. Do I think it is? Yeah. But we'll see. My buddy Taylor, I texted him after the fight and I was like, man, I feel bad for Conor. And he made a good point. He's like, I feel bad for Max too. And it was a great point because Max didn't get his true moment to shine, and this was going to be his highest rated fight of his career. He's had a lot of big fights. This was the big one, the global one. And he didn't really get that full. He's not going to get the full credit that he probably deserves had the fight played out and he had won. So I feel a little bit for him. I mean, do we truly feel that bad for him? Because he surely got paid this fight, and he's going to get paid next fight, whether it's McGregor or who else. I'm sure he'll be fine. But yeah, my buddy Taylor's point is a valid one. You got to feel a little bit for Max too, because his moment kind of has a bit of a damper on it. Anytime your opponent gets injured in this type of fashion, especially this early in the fight. It would have been one thing if this happened around 4 or 5 after they had just gone at it and banged for a while. But this happened so early, there was really nothing to really chew on from the fight, aside from the injury, which happened on the very first kick of the fight. He does this. He went Jorge Masvidal. Conor decided to go Jorge Masvidal on all of us and just do that crazy flying kick to kick off the fight, and boom, he was injured right there. Now my question is too, with that kick and seeing the replay of how his knee looked right before he entered the ring, did he know that he wasn't going to last long, and he knew he had to do something drastic and just go for it, balls out, and do some type of crazy move to try to get a knockout? Because that was his Hail Mary, like get a quick knockout, do something to shock Max and surprise him, like similar to what Masvidal did to Askren, where he just did a crazy flying knee and finished the fight right away. That's a very real possibility that he knew something was up, and he had to just take a major chance right off the bat. Almost just that Hail Mary, last second pass of the game where it's either going to be a touchdown or the game's over. That looked like it possibly may have been what he was doing right there, because something was going on with his knee. Conor did not do any post-fight interviews. He went straight to the hospital. But from what Megan O'Leary reported, he could barely walk on it. So it's understandable, and it's understandable he doesn't want to. He probably wants to take a little time to digest this result, because I'm sure this is the last thing he expected to happen. And the big question now too is, does he retire? Does he? Where does he go from here? If he doesn't decide to come back to the UFC, I think an interesting possibility would be, does he now fight for his own promotion, the bare knuckle fighting, which would potentially be less risk for that knee of his, because you're not going to take those leg kicks. You're not going to be having to. You'll have more stabilization with whether it's the shoes you wear, whether it's knee. I don't know if they let you wear knee braces in the BKFC, but I know there's not as much risk to your knee on the BKFC, and you can just stand at Bang. Will he want to do that? Could be interesting. I would love to see, if he doesn't want to do the UFC, or if it's too big of a risk, I would love to see him go to the BKFC and fight a guy like Mike Perry. I mean, who wouldn't love to see that? But regardless, takeaway is, what a massive disappointment. What a, tough blow to the UFC on this night. At least for the main event. It's a shame too, because the whole card was a great card. You had some electric fights, great knockouts, great submissions. Even the co-main event, Patty looked incredible in what he did to Benoit. But this really overshadows everything. So the takeaway is just such a disappointment. It's a big buzzkill and bummer for the sport. And there's so many question marks now going forward. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm Mikey2Gunzz. This is Our Bleepin City. We'll catch you next time.